What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a movie that was released on VOD not that long ago. I read a little bit about it online and it sounded really interesting. Coming of age movie about these two sisters that go to New Mexico to visit their father, and they have kind of an estranged relationship. And I love coming of age movies, they're some of my favorite. And I love movies about kind of dysfunctional family dynamics. And I was really looking forward to watching this. And the movie I'm going to be discussing with you today is In the Summers. In the Summers is directed by Alessandra Lacorazza. On a journey that spans formative years of their lives, two sisters navigate their loving but volatile father during their yearly summer visits to his home in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So I was really looking forward to watching this movie. Didn't know much about it, but like I said, I really like coming of age movies. I really like movies about dysfunctional family dynamics. And I thought this movie was really good. It's not necessarily reinventing the wheel by any means, but I think the emotional core of the movie, you can tell that this is very personal for this director. It seems, I think I read online that it's semi-autobiographical, and you can really tell because none of the emotion feels forced or hokey. It feels very authentic and realistic. And that's what I liked about it. And I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about it today. So, the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Eva and Violetta, and the two of them are sisters. And throughout the movie, we see multiple different points in their life that they go to visit their father in New Mexico. They come during the summer. Their parents are divorced, and we see them at a very young age. We see them going into their teenage years. They come back as adults, and it's all about the interactions with their father. And their father, when they first get to the house, he's seemingly very like inviting and nice and loving and caring, but he definitely has issues with abusing alcohol. He's incredibly intelligent. He tutors people for school, but he's never really applied it to his own life to do anything that could make him more money or to do anything to be stable. And so because of that, he turns to alcohol. You can tell that there's a lot of conflicting internal struggles because of the decisions that he's made in his life, which causes a very tense relationship with his daughters. And the entirety of the film is us watching these three characters and their relationship over an elongated period of time. So I really enjoyed this movie for a multitude of reasons. For starters, the performances here are fantastic. I think the actor who plays the father, obviously he's consistent throughout the entire movie, and I thought that he was really great. He delivers a very authentic and real performance. He's a very facial actor, which I like a lot. I like when you can get an actor who's very reactionary to things, and he doesn't try to break a lot around his kids. He doesn't try to like show any sort of vulnerable emotion. And so it was interesting to see the progression of his character over time. I really liked all of the actresses who played the sisters throughout their years. There are a lot of little interesting things incorporated throughout the movie. Like one of the things I really liked is Violetta's character, as we learn as the movie goes on, is a queer character, and we can tell that she struggles with her identity. Like she wants to embrace it very fully, but her father makes some homophobic remarks early on in the film, so you could tell like it's difficult for her to kind of live her full and complete truth around her father. And I love the way that it's explored. It's very natural. It fits into the movie very well, and I think it's a conversation that you'll be thinking about for a while after the movie's over. The other daughter has a really interesting plot where at some point she goes back by herself. The other sister doesn't come back, and she like learns to play pool. She try really well. She tries to do things to impress her dad, but he doesn't really pay all that close of attention. And I think all of these performances really add to making that relationship dynamic pay off in a way that's really satisfying, and it's really thought-provoking. The cinematography in this is great. There's a lot of attention to detail in the locations where this movie is shot. There's a lot of beautiful landscape shots, but they also pick a lot of really great places to film. And I think because of the blocking of the characters and where the camera is placed, it does a really nice job building the dynamic of the relationships between the characters with where the camera is placed. That's so important with cinematography, to kind of put characters in the frame in a way that they can be very expressive and that you as an audience member can react to those feelings, because this is obviously a really personal story. And so many people deal with parents that are alcoholics or abusive, not necessarily physically, but they can be mentally abusive or controlling and all of these different things. And I love the way that the director showcases it, because as young kids, like all you want when you're a young kid is to have the relationship with your parents be normal. You want your parents to love you, and you want to love your parents back. But that's not true for every single person in this world. And relationships can be incredibly complex with parental figures. And I think this movie does a really beautiful job showcasing that and like the desire for that connection, but also realizing that like it might not ever be more than what it is and it could grow more complicated. And I love that they had the decision to bring the sisters back in their more kind of like formative adult years. I'm guessing they're like 19 to early 20s, and it's like you can see the relationship has become more and more and more strained over time. And there's a lot of situations that occur throughout the movie, and I don't want to give them away because they're like big emotional points that create separation between these characters. But that lived experience is what's so important. I'm someone in my life, I've dealt with a lot of emotional trauma surrounding family experience, and so like those things have changed throughout my life from my formative years into my early 30s. Like the landscape of my familial dynamic has really shifted, and I'm always searching for films that can kind of convey those ideas in a very realistic and thoughtful way. And you can tell this director really cares, and that's all I needed from this movie. It's like I said at the beginning of the review, you might watch this and say, it's not necessarily doing anything new, but I think for this movie in particular, it doesn't really have to. It's very much examining these very real ideas that people experience in a way that comes across as very authentic and beautifully moving. And that's all you really need from a movie like this, is some great performances, some excellent cinematography, and a hard-hitting gut punch of a third act. I loved the way that this movie ended. It really hit me hard. I really was appreciative of that. And I think if you enjoy coming of age movies, then you'll really like In the Summers. So have you seen In the Summers? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was excellent. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.